Mornington Yacht Club committee and its members would like to welcome all of the international and Australian competitors. We've got competitors from UK, the Netherlands, New Zealand and Sweden. We've also got 4 of the top 5 competitors from the last Moth Championship, so we've got a really gun fleet.
4 AM start for me to come down. Actually, I've sailed my boat probably 5 times since the Worlds in January, so the last time I sailed it was back in October.
I normally sail a 49 and we've got a little bit of time off at the moment, so we're kind of looking for other fun things to do that kind of help skill you up. To come over here, I just put my boat on a plane and put excess baggage and you're away.
A lot of work to do, fitness being one of the big things. I've obviously packed on about 8 kilos since the Worlds. So I've gone from a 73 kilo alcoholic to an 81 kilo alcoholic, and I'm addicted to McDonald's. No, not really.
With the level of competition we've got here, it's a very important competition. To me, it's sort of the last lead up to the Worlds, which is 8 months away. If you're not really on track now, then you're probably not in a position to do super well at the Worlds.
I'm a little worried about the forecast, I'll be honest. It's supposed to be pretty gnarly, 20-25 knots and big waves. These boats don't really like waves at all.
I'm not used to sailing in the big waves that we have here.
With the forecast, there is a bit of wind coming, so it's probably worth thinking about tying your boat down.
Getting used to the waves, I think. When you come out the bottom of a wave, you don't quite have enough to get back up the other side.
I took the decision to set up for the rough weather, and luckily it paid off because it did come in, so there's a lot of carnage at the top mark.
I'm very happy that I finished. That's all that matters. It doesn't really matter where I finish. I got round and I had fun.
Well, where I sail, it's usually flat water, but here the waves are massive. But I was handling all right.
Couldn't have been happier. It was kind of fun watching everyone fall down around me. Coming from the Worlds last year, I was a lot further down the fleet, so bring on more waves.
I started with a skiff Moth, and then I think by the 3rd boat the foils are out and I had a foiling boat.
Being in sailing for a long time myself, I've always sort of kept an eye on them, and I think when they started foiling it was a new thing.
We had nationals in about 2002, 2003, and the Western Australians came over with these crazy flying boats that sort of crashed and burnt and hit the bottom all the time.
Yeah, there definitely was one moment where I just had to go with someone's boat and I was like, wow, this is really cool.
From there, it was pretty much it was going to be the future.
Just an amazing piece of equipment. As soon as they get out of the water, everything goes dead silent. The boat does 18 knots upwind and does 25 to 30 knots downwind, and you don't need other people to race against to have a good time.
What I'm going to do is show you what I do to set up my boat. The first thing we're going to do is adjust this as long as you can so that this is getting as close to that end as possible.
Kind of listened to AMAC having a bit of a chat this morning about what to do and wound on a whole heap more gearing so the flat would move around a lot more and try and get up and down the waves.
There should be a lock nut on here. Scotty, are you here? Didn't read the instructions, did you? Right. It's really important to have a lock nut on here, and that way everything just seems to line up.
It was relatively windy in the first race. It was kind of easing off the whole time, but the seaway was, yeah, it was pretty big. I think I was kind of nursing it round almost on those downwinds, just trying to make sure I kept the boat upright.
Race 2 had a bit of everything, I think. It started off quite light and then it got lighter. There's certainly plenty of holes you can fall into, and it's a matter of trying to push hard enough to stay in front or be up there, but you can lose a lot of time if you swim and you lose a lot of energy as well.
Rob sort of jibed first and just sort of got into different pressure, and I came through the middle.
Got a good lead on the second leg and then got on a gust that just sent me off to Melbourne, and I couldn't get off it, and the waves were really weird and I was just bouncing all over the place. And by the time I jibed back, found a spot to jibe, and I came back in, Scott had nailed me on the line, so I was pretty peeved about that.
At the last 2 worlds that I've been to, there's been 5 women in each. I haven't done a huge amount of training or preparation, so I'm just here to have fun and you know, see how many boys I can beat.
I've been a Moth sailor for 4 months. This is a new boat. First race in a Moth. I haven't finished the race, so it'll be interesting to see how I go.
It's just different every day, slightly different every day, so you don't want to go too hard too early, because you can be famous for about 100 metres and then you swim. It just started really blowing, and I just looked at my boat and looked at all the settings and sat at the top mark and thought, how the hell am I going to get downwind? And fortunately didn't have to.
was out training with Scott Babbage and it was wind against tide, 20 knot nor'easter, Sydney Harbour. Going downwind, had a huge crash on some waves and hit the side stays. Ruptured a couple of blood vessels and split the calf muscle up and down several times. 3 or 4 days of physio. I'm here, I'm a bit stiff and a bit sore. I think I'll be okay, I'm not sure. So we'll see what the week brings us, hey? I don't care where I finish, I just want to finish one spot in front of Scott. That's Scott there. Yeah. Guy with the grey hair, I think you saw him before. First thing about Moth Squad is you can't talk about Moth Squad. No, it's just a group of guys leading into the Belmont Worlds, just a bunch of training partners, and we were drunk one night and said let's call ourselves the Aussie Moth Squad, and it's sort of taken off from there. And there's Maverick, Nathan, Tom, Ian, Jensen, Gooby, and myself. Oh, and Pete. Scott's under trial at the moment. We're not quite sure.
A hat, but that's about it.
He's got some a bit of testing to do. We'll see. We'll see after this.
James doesn't have a brake pedal on his boat. So he'd go past you, and then you would go past him as he was floating upside down in the water.
Not quite as consistent as I would have liked. I kind of managed to get a 10th in the first race after leading it for quite a while.
Everyone had to make a choice what sail to use because it was forecast to be quite windy, but on the water it wasn't. It was really light. And those light, fluky stuff, it's really, really tricky because you think you've got a good buffer, and then all of a sudden the wind goes up in the air and you fall off the foils. You sit there and watch everyone screaming up.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while, but I haven't been doing it enough for the last couple of years. Got a new boat now, so getting right back into it again.
I didn't have such a good day today. I had a couple of moments where I should have probably got a bullet.
But it was a pretty quick race. You didn't have many options or much time to make mistakes.
Luck didn't go my way, and I had a shock on the last race of the day.
It was pretty windy. The waves were just building up. We probably had 20 plus knots.
Got a fair bit to do to catch up to Rob and Scotty, but yeah, it's definitely all to play for between us.
I've got to get 2 points on Rob. I don't know how many races we've got. I don't know what the breeze is going to do, but yeah, hopefully we can put a few points in.
Just all depends on the conditions, really. If it's like today and big waves again, I think just Yeah, doing what I've been doing, going fast upwind and then kind of keeping the boat upright downwind is the goal. But then if it's flat water again, the whole game changes.
We can take what we have and tune it or tweak it, or tiny modifications that make the difference. Either fairing foils or cutting foils down, or changing control systems and gearing ratios. Yeah, the way the boat responds to waves and things like that. Things that are invisible to the layman looking at it, you wouldn't notice, but on the water it makes a big difference.
The foils are designed so that you can get up out of the water in like 6 knots of breeze. But as it gets windier, the smaller the foil is, the faster the boat will go.
The trend is to see how small can we go with the foils. Basically, we just take them home and get the hacksaw out and chop the tip off what's basically a month's pay. And you have to have a couple of beers and grit your teeth and go, please make sure this works.
It was pretty fresh again today. I was neck and neck with Pete for the first part of the race, and then got a nice puff at the top mark on the last downwind and managed to get the bullet, which is something I haven't been able to do all week, so I finally remembered how to sail today, I think.
I had sort of Rob locked away in the first one. I was in, I think, 3rd place and he was in 4th, so that was enough to gain me a little bit. I had 2 points to go in him today, and I tacked off with the top 2, and he sort of sailed around us and ended up getting a 2nd in that one, which put me another 2 points behind.
We had a lot of rain squalls coming through, so the breeze was sort of going back and forward 40 degrees, and we're just trying to work out which tack to start on, and Pete really went for it and crossed the whole fleet, and I was like, oh, don't really want to write the boat on myself off today, so I ducked about 20 boats and popped out just behind him, and on the next beat I just pulled everything on as hard as I could and hiked as hard as I could, and just got right next to Pete at the top mark and passed him on the downwind. With the water getting a lot flatter, you could see everyone was pushing the boats downwind, and it wasn't as scary as the whole week has been. I always hope to come first, of course. So clearly, I'm disappointed that I didn't get to win, but Rob and Scott sailed really well all week, and I made a lot of errors throughout the week. The conditions weren't really what I'd ever sailed in before, so it was a tough week, and I found myself doing a lot more swimming than what I'm used to. If the regatta started today, I think I'd be ready to go.
The last time I beat Nathan, I think, in a regatta was 2001. And he was only a kid, so it's good to finally put one on him, but doing it again will be really hard.
I do sail in waves a bit more than the other guys do. I don't mind a bit of bumpy stuff, and also we're always sailing in pretty windy conditions in Hobart. It's either been windy or it's going to be windy.
Yeah, I think the conditions have been the hardest we've sailed in from my memory. I mean, we've normally gone to venues that are pretty safe, pretty flat, pretty protected, and this is definitely not that. So it's a good sort of wake-up call for everyone.
They were always having moth regattas in flat water, and I think it's good to mix it up. You know, the boats provide another level of challenge to be able to sail them in waves, and we had wind and waves, and we had everything.
We've got a lot of trophies here, and we've actually got a scowl or non-foiler, and it comes with the first prize. So whoever wants to take that home gets the trophy as well.
So the first junior was Jack Sherring. First female, Sam England. So in 5th place, we've got Andrew McDougall. In 4th place, Peter Burling. In 3rd place, Nathan Outridge. Second place, Scott Babbage. And in 1st place, Rob Goff.
I think it's been about 20 years, I just got asked before, since I won a national title. So coincidentally I have to thank my chiropractor, my physio, my masseur, my doctor, my personal stretcher, because I am a personal trainer, my mum and my family for coming over. It's been really, really great to have you over here. And AMAC for his words of advice of building such a great boat. 30 kilos and you have these conditions, and it pretty much, well, I think every one of them got around the racetrack, and it's just an amazing design.
The main appeal is the speed you get out of the power that these boats have. They're packing less power than a laser does, but I think they're the fastest monohull dinghy in the world. And then there's the guys that sail the Moth. If we didn't have these people here, we wouldn't do it.
I think I'll still be sailing the Moth when I can, just doing the usual Saturday afternoon sail, and then work out what to do from there in terms of what it's going to take to do better in the Worlds.
2012 Worlds are in Lake Garda, which is one of the best places to sail in the world.
There's always the same sort of characters every time. I mean, Joe Turner was second last year, and he'll be on the pace by Garda. I think Peter Burling again, number 4, he'll be really quick. He'll be coming off the Olympics as well. AMAC will always be a bit of a wild card. Rob, obviously, who won here, will be really fast. But then you've got the Europeans, Simon Payne, former world champion, and the Americans with Bora, former world champion again. So there's lots of contenders.
If the Moth became one of the Olympic classes, you'd see about 20 Australians campaigning pretty hard to go, and there's only one spot.